Hey everybody, Alice with Sage Leaf Studio here, and as promised in my last video, which I'll link down below so that you can see what I'm talking about, but I mentioned that I felt bad about not using up my Stamperia paper collections. And so I am on a quest, a journey to go back and revisit the sets that I have used and worked with and dig them back out and try to use them up for the most part. So this is from the set Our Way, the Romantic Collection Our Way. And this is a 6x6 set. So I think that I must have made a couple of things that I don't have here, so I must have given them away or something, but I do have these little guys that I have kicking around that I had made previous. This is simply a little envelope pocket. I was really I remember when I was making just tons of these, like everything I had, I made, an envelope pocket because they were just so cute and easy. And I made a little folio for it that just has, this is glued down, but this is I would call it a bookmark. So it's got a little bookmark and a little tuck pocket that it lives in, and just using some of that paper. So I feel like I must have used, well, let me see what I've got here, because there's supposed to, it was a 12 sheet set, and I only have, this is what I have left. Well, you can't see all of it, but I've got like some fussy cuts, and feel like these four things are all one page, obviously. This was a full page, and now it's not. And then I've got this full page, which is actually the inside of the front cover. And so the fussy cuts, which are kind of down here, let me see if I can kind of adjust, and you can see how much stuff is down there. Anyway, um, those were all the inside of the back cover, I'm sure. Let me, you know what, I could turn a light on and we could see all this better. Yeah, there we go. How about that? Let's see. How about that? There we go. Anyway, this is another little outfit that I made. This is that same, I used the same, probably the same paper. So it's probably one piece made this and this, because it starts out as a triangle, and then I cut it in half, and then, fold over, fold over. So that was one piece. So that's that. But anyway, so here's this little guy that I made to go in there. How does it open? Okay, it was just it's a little bifold, a little twofold, and it's got a cute little tiny little postcards they have in the set. And I used some other papers in this as well when I was making these tags. But that's really cute and sweet, and lots of little fussy cuts. So anyway, this was something that I had made out of it, and it goes back in here. We'll just stick it back in here. But they're so cute. But anyway, I was just trying to count up how many pages I had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6, with some partial pieces that are left over. 7. So I think I either have, like, I don't know, maybe I used one other one. Anyway, but this is what's left. So this is what I have to work with. So I'm just kind of thinking, oh yeah, this needs to go here. It doesn't have to, but that's what I have chosen for that. But anyway, this is what I have left, and I want to try to make something out of what's left. And I'm just kind of thinking, obviously it needs to be like maybe a travel journal, or just something, obviously, because it's travel. It's all about traveling with your friend. It's kind of sweet, different little things about No journey is too long with the right company. Little cute little sayings, all kinds of little stamp looking things and postcards and stuff, like as if you were, you're traveling and you're writing back to your loved ones or whatever. Anyway, so I've got all this stuff and I'm feeling like this needs to be. Now I don't want to I don't want to use this side, although I have been known to cut up the front covers just to get at these little extra pieces that are, but I already have all that. I mean, I've got that one right there is actually this. So I'm just thinking that it needs to be this one needs to be a folio or part of a journal. I could fold it in half, but then I'll cover up the inside so that we don't see that. But I just need to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with it. These could be tuck pockets of some sort, but I feel like I need something bigger. This would be cool you could actually use this as a postcard. And I've got, stamps that I could stamp the word postcard on here. But that could be something. But here's the deal. So I laid this out last night and was thinking about it. And I walked back into the other part of the house and was looking through the mail. And of course, you know how there's always the junk mail and have to go look and everything. And I came across this from our grocery store. And it's its own little envelope that opens up and it's, just sticky all along the edges, and houses coupons that Kroger wants us to have, which are nice because there's like free things in there and stuff like that. But anyway, I was taking it apart and I was thinking, maybe this is what I need. Maybe this is something that I could. Can you see the whole thing? I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. Oh yeah, that's way out. But maybe that's what I need to cover and make it some sort of a folio, or what would you, like a journal, a travel uh, bag or travel pouch, or I don't know, portfolio, something like that. But it's pretty flimsy, so I need to shore it up, but I think covering it with some paper. And obviously I don't have anything here that would work as far as, I don't want to cover with these because I want to use these inside of it. But anyway, I think I've got some paper in this one pad that would be very complementary to the colors of this stuff. So I'm going to dig through that. And then I think I want to get busy kind of covering this. I may put some pieces of cardboard, inside to kind of shore it up, just to make it, stiffer so that I can work with it or not. Maybe it needs to be something that could be rolled up. I don't know. That just sounds like it could be torn up or broken or something. But I'm going to look over here, and this is perfect. This is some of this single-sided paper. And I think, see right here, this is what I was thinking of. I knew that I had, and there may be another one in here. I knew that I had some kind of burgundy colored paper in this set. Yeah, there's another one. This is not bad. And that's not bad. So maybe I'm going to go ahead and take this piece out. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think I think I've maybe used up, there's that one that I just got, that one that I just saw, and then there's like a houndstooth. You can see that. Maybe I've used that all up because it's a good color, and it just kind of, it's not too crazy with the design. It's very toned down, but it's a good, deep color and goes with a lot of things. And I think it will really complement the burgundies in this set. So I think I'm going to work on that, and I will report back here in a moment once I get things cut out and glued down. And then we'll kind of figure out how I can go about using all these pieces from this set. But I am bound and determined that I'm going to use up hopefully most of it. I'm sure I'll have a few fussy cuts and little things left over, but you know what? That's okay because I can use those in other things, but in other, maybe travel journals or different things like that. But anyway, so I'm excited to get going on it and let's see how this goes. So this is the little Kroger envelope. And what I ended up doing was I lined the inside of it with that pretty little paper, that burgundy paper, because I don't know, because I was thinking that maybe I want a lot of leeway to embellish the outside. So I just did use some plain brown craft paper type stuff. And I just went ahead and cut each piece up. And you can see, well, I'm gonna glue this down. I just, I didn't make this piece as big as I needed to because you're not going to be able to see that. But I did want to go ahead and do the inside part just in case, you were to reach in here and see. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm going to glue this down so that this is a pocket. And I haven't decided if it's going to be this fold up type thing like this, or is it going to become a journal like this. So maybe this is a side tuck. And I don't know if this apparatus can handle being sewn, but I thought about putting a signature of paper in here. I don't know. I'm trying to decide because also what happened besides coming across this set and my little junk mail envelope situation here, but there was an Amazon package that arrived and I'm walking away and it's going to be really noisy because also this fabulous, let me stop folding it, this fabulous piece of packing paper showed up in an Amazon package box. And you know what's funny about it is, I swear that normally when I get these, they're perforated. Maybe I'm thinking of another packaging situation, but I thought they always had like a perf and, it was a certain amount of room before the next perf. This is not perfed at all. And, again, I know that I used to get stuff from Grove Company, and those things were definitely had a perf and they were really stocky. So I don't even know if if I could use those in this application, but I'm thinking that this would be a really cool, um, signature to, I mean, I'd have to cut it way down. Clearly, if I was going to do this, then I could definitely cut it in half because look at what we're talking about here. Half and half. Yeah, I could. So I might do that. But anyway, so I don't know. God, that's noisy. Noisy. But I'm thinking about doing that. So that might happen. But for now, I think I'm going to round some edges and do some inking. I didn't want to get too close to the edge of any of the folds. So I've got, there's some blue poking through here, but I'm going to ink it. And that's probably, if I end up doing a signature, that's where that's going to get sewn in. So that won't show. But on the outside, I do have, look at this, I've got quite a bit of color showing through. Is that a bad thing? I never think it is. And I usually can kind of get around it with inking. I could use washi tape, but I don't know. with all the folding and the bending and stuff, sometimes that doesn't translate well. So anyway, I'm going to mess around with it and see what I can do to kind of get it to where I want it. And I'll go ahead and glue this down. And that may take a few minutes for that to dry. But I think it'd be great because I went ahead and cut this down. It had, an extra little piece over here, and actually I can see where it's cut, but that's okay. I'll probably cut it down just a little bit more on either side, but it can make a great, like I said, a postcard or a note card. And this, I went ahead and folded over, so I've got to put something on the inside here, but it could go in there. It might get a little bit lost, but it could also, there could be another tuck pocket out here, and that could go in there, and this could go in here, and it could be sort of a layered look, I would think. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to play around with everything, and I went ahead and here, let's scoot in just a little bit. Yeah, yeah, let's do that. I went ahead and gathered up all my little goodies that were laying out here everywhere because I just felt like I needed to corral them. So I've got all my little fussy cuts and different things down here. I've got my little rectangles with words. I've got my little stampy things. And then I was just putting this in here to kind of hold everything apart and together. But I've got all the other little, can you see? Yeah, little notes, little kind of like postcards. There's that one little tag, the little squares, and then these are my extra pieces that I cut away. So I've got those. So I've got them over here at the ready when I'm ready to use them. And I've got my other pieces that I had made previously over here for inspiration. Well, that's not going to work. I've made these too thick to round. At least those. This I could because it's not as thick. But I'm not sure if it matters if I have the other ones rounded. But I really kind of wanted to round them. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I think I can get that one in there. It's going to be hard. Woo! Noisy. Noisy. Okay, that's not too bad. Now it makes me want to go back to these and kind of give them a little more of a round because I used that size all the way around. There we go. Okay, so there's that. So that looks okay there. But then I really just want to see if I can, yeah, I can get it in there. I think I was being scared earlier that I couldn't get that. But that's about as much as you could possibly ask of that. That's quite a bit. So let me see if I can go back and try this one again. This one is really stiff. But that was the whole point of adding all of these layers, because this was really flimsy when it started out. So, I wanted to shore it up and make sure that it had some oomph to it. Yeah, I think that's workable. And this I'm not that worried about. I don't know. Maybe I should try to, I don't think I can get in there though. I don't think let's see, will the big one work? No. I don't know. I might round those. I may not. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if I like this whole cut right here, but this is exactly, like I just went back over what Kroger did. So I don't know. Do they know what they're doing? Do they know? I guess they do when it comes to this stuff. I don't know. We'll see. So what I need to do next is really do some inking. And you know what? I'm going to use some. I'm not even going to change my sponge, though it's starting to get a little hairy looking. But I've used this sponge for a long time, and I have several others I could certainly use. And this probably has more walnut stain on it, walnut stain colored ink on it than anything. But I got a new pad of vintage photo Tim Holtz distressed ink. So I think thinking I want to use that color today. It always looks a little more watery, bleedy. Okay, so that looks pretty good actually. I think those are going to cover well. And I'm going to embellish. I'm going to use a lot of these different things, fussy cuts, some other papers that, go well with the set on this set. And so, hopefully some of those folds you won't really even notice, and they won't be together. Okay, I'm a little concerned that this is starting to kind of tear or something. Seems like it's kind of coming apart. That can't be good. That can't be good. Looky there. I'm worried because now that I got this wet, yeah, watch this. This is not good, y'all. Okay. So now we know that is not good stuff to use, especially when I got it all wet with all that ink. So this is turning into a different project already. I think that maybe this is gonna be a pocket of its own right. And this, I'm not sure what this is gonna be. Okay, so this really went in a really different direction. Well, not completely different, but I ended up having to take apart that whole situation because it fell apart basically. Anywhere that there was a fold, it just couldn't handle it. It was just too the paper was just too flimsy, too soft. I shouldn't have even tried that. And I started to just chunk the whole thing, but and I don't mean these pieces, but this piece, since it really didn't have to do with this yet. But you know what? I decided I can still use it. I could either make tags out of them, whatever, but I decided that how about I make I'm going to call it like a stationery set. So basically, all the pieces are still here. So there's this piece, and I glued it to the other large piece, and it's now got a pocket. And I just did this stuff just because this was the piece that was supposed to be turned over and had some area showing that I hadn't covered with the paper. So anyway, now it's covered with paper. And then on the back side here, or I don't know if you want to call that the back side, doesn't matter. These are the other flaps, and so just made some notches and made these into some pockets. So they're a little tight, but everything's glued together really well. So I think it's going to work out. And what I kind of figured out was with the pieces that I have left from the journaling set, I've got these little square guys that I was kind of playing around with, and they could go in here. And then there's this one lonesome little tag that's this shape, and I haven't done anything with it yet as far as like rounding it. I probably won't, but I think it needs inking. And then I did make this into a postcard, so it's like this, and then I just stamped. Could have done better there, but just trying to make it look like this could be used as a postcard. So that can go in here for now. And then so this is the little folio that I made previously that I had tucked into this little envelope pocket, and I thought about trying to, and I still could use it that way, but I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe using this over here and making it a little area to keep these cute little, there's a lot of little postcards, allegedly, or just notes. That one's supposed to be a postcard. Everything's so small in this set. I mean, all the pieces are just so little. It's kind of hard to figure out, what am I doing as far as what could really be used and what's just sort of like a decoration situation. So anyway, I may use that there, but I've got this, and I did embellish it a little bit more. I added these little pieces, so those are, now dimensional. And I added a little piece here. I didn't add anything to this, but then I added this here. So, if you're going to jot down a note or something, maybe this is something you throw in your bag, in your purse. And so I put a little bit of paper there and just, a couple little embellishments. It's such a sweet little set. And I think it could be, even though it's florally and pretty, it's still kind of got a little bit of a rustic vibe to it. I mean, these girls are vagabonds, right? Sort of. I don't know. Some of the stuff in here just makes me think of, um, that they're traveling and they don't have a lot of money, maybe, and I don't know. And here, I forgot that I had. I'm always putting like a little extra fussy cuts or pieces that I've gotten, like paper cutouts. And these are the Our Way chipboard pieces. And I'm not sure if I can use any of these. They're sticky, but they're really, really thick. I did think that maybe I could use this one over here, but I didn't want to attach it yet because I think I'll probably have to, even though it's adhesive, I'll probably have to go back and um, glue it as well so that it'll stay down. But I thought that one might be pretty there. It's just cut. I just cut those up so that they would fit in my little plastic bin there. But this is really the size of it here. So anyway, but I've got all that stuff, and I don't think I'm going to be able to use all of that either. And then I've still just, got all these little pieces. But I've used, several. So I've got a couple more of these square pieces. I've got a couple more of these smaller with the words, with the sayings, and then still a bunch of little fussy cuts and stuff. So, but I think once I get going on, set that aside, this. So remember I had that piece that was this. No, it's supposed to be this way. And so I went ahead and added some of the craft paper board card to the inside to cover up, because this was the front cover of the booklet. of paper. So I wanted to cover that up. And, you know, you can see a little bit of it in here. I didn't want to get too close because I knew I wanted to sew a signature in. So it shows, but it just looks like it belongs because it's just in the colors and you can't really tell what you're seeing there. So anyway, just did that and inked it. And I did end up using this packing, and it's nice and crinkly and kind of has folds and crinkles. I didn't crinkle it up too much more than it already was, but I think that's going to be big enough. I forget how many sheets I ended up with. I had more, but I was like, no, this is plenty because I don't want it to be too thick because I got to fit it in my stationery holder set thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 12 pages. Okay. And I don't mind that it's kind of sticking out. I mean, I knew it would be if I just made it the same size because you know how that works. Or maybe you don't, but that's how it works. Whenever you're adding something that doesn't have really a thick spine or a wide spine, your papers are going to stick out if you don't trim them down. But I'm okay with that because, again, remember, this is a little bit rustic. This is something you're going to, carry with you when you go on your travels. You're just going to whip it open and, write down your thoughts or different things. Who knows? Who knows? Again, me fantasizing about, how it could be used. So anyway, I guess what I need to do is finish working on getting this put together. I wanted to put, like I was thinking this could be a good tuck pocket right here. And I could tuck some of these postcard type things in here. And I think the reason I had this out, oh yeah, so over on this side, I'm going to take these back out for a minute so I don't get them messy. But I think that I want to embellish this side a little bit. I don't want too much stuff to get in the way of things that are going to get tucked in. So, but I did think that this was an okay spot to put something. So I'm just really trying to kind of figure out where to put some of this stuff. I mean, there's just, I feel like these are little boxes, I guess. And there's, of course, I still have the actual girls. Don't know where those are going to go. Don't know that they're going to get used here. Chase your dreams. That would be cute too. But I don't know. I kind of like this little wonder, and I'm using a lot of the florally stuff and all this. So okay, so I'm gonna grab my ink, and I'm still using the vintage photo, and I still swear it's more liquidy seeming than like the walnut stain that I usually use a lot of. I'm just going around that. And I don't know if I really need to do any rounding. Everything doesn't have to be rounded. I do a lot of rounding, but it doesn't mean that it has to be that way. So do that. And let's find a glue stick. Anytime it's, just kind of plain paper, thinner paper like this, I like to just use the glue stick. It doesn't work in every application, but on this, it's good. There we go. Good and sticky. Do that under there. And then on anything that's any thicker, cardstock type stuff. I prefer this. This is the Barely Arts glue. And we'll just get that. I think I'm making a shadow. Okay, plenty. It's plenty. I'm going to just kind of stick it here. Yeah, plenty because it's oozing out. That's how I know it's plenty. Okay, that's going to be good there. And I don't really think I should try to do too much more on this side because, again, I don't want, I don't want whatever to interfere with the things that are going to get tucked in. Maybe, that need to go there. Maybe that needs to go there. I don't know. And then, so this says travel journal. And so I think I kind of want to try to get it incorporated into this. So maybe let the journey begin. True friends. Chase your dreams. Good Lord. There's just so many little pieces. Okay. For right now, we're just going to stick all that right there and say it has a home. All right. And I don't think there's necessarily a whole lot more I want to do on this side except for maybe use that. Okay, let's just see. Let's see how it comes out. Do away with that. It is really sticky. It may be okay. Let's, you know what? I'm scared. I'm scared that it's going to come back off and then it's going to tear away some of that paper that's already down there. So I think I am just going to give it a little extra help with some of this glue. Just in case. I just don't want it to tear it up. I'm going to put it down here. And see, it's got a mind of its own. I mean, it's a little bit, that is stuck. No, it's not. See, I'm feeling like I need to, I think I'm going to have to, let me check and see if I've got it straight enough here. I'm always worried about using this really thick, big stuff like this because, especially if I were to use it on like a tag or something, and if you're sliding it in and out of somewhere, I just, don't want it catching on something and ripping something. So I'm going to put this off to the side and let it put something on it, heavy on it, to see if I can get that to stay down. I'm going to put it off to the side over here for a little while just to get that straightened out and glued and stuck. Okay, there's that. So I can be working on that guy over there, put those guys over there. So I've got some little scrappy pieces left over that, I could use. I don't have a whole lot of so far from all of this. I always like to keep all of my pieces kind of together so that in case I need to go back, I like to repeat use. Like this was just the edge of that paper that I used for the signature. But you never know when you're going to need another little piece, and it kind of ties in because it's the same color, same texture, whatever. Okay, that may go there. So the only other thing I wondered if I should try to, usually doesn't work out if I try to round the edges. I don't think I care on the signature itself. It is poking out a little bit here and here, but nah, I don't want to mess with it. So I'm gonna get to sewing it together real quick. Grab my needle and my waxed thread and figure out, and I don't think I want anything dangly because this is gonna, be tucked in one of those pockets, so I don't really need a lot of thread left over. Where are my scissors? I put everything away last night, and now nothing's handy. All right, got that. This. Hopefully it's going to go right in there. Maybe I got to kind of pinch it. There we go. Right about there. Okay. So now, I don't think I need my awl, but maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Let's find the center. Let's find the center. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna make sure that all this is really good. I'm still looking at it. Yeah, that's the top. I'm just gonna get a good grip on it. I'm gonna go in the center. Oh yeah, easy peasy. Remember, this stuff is not that thick. But it's a lot thicker than the stuff I made started to make the folio out of. Let's see. I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna poke a hole right here through this way so that I can see it on this side. Get right in there. Okay. Nice and tight. And I'm going to go down here to the bottom and kind of eyeball that. Get through there. Okay. And then I got to find my, okay, that's a little loose. So I want to make sure that that's tight. Tighten it up. All right. I'm coming back through. I'm going to make sure I'm on that side of that. Not that I couldn't fix that when I got back over there after this. All right, I can get rid of my needle for now. I just want to make sure everything is really good and tight on my spine. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot left, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything dangly hanging down. I mean, I could with that one, but I don't want anything to get in the way of, because it's just a really tight fit in those tuck pockets. So, okay, that's it. Gonna just get rid of that. Perfect. So there's our little booklet, our little journal. Gonna put my needle up before I lose track of it. Okay, so now I think I can go ahead and do the things I was thinking of doing. I wish that these were a little bit, I could do that. That would be kind of tight. You know what? I think I am going to do that. I think I'm going to put this in the front. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this a little tuck pocket. Here, another here. I keep standing up. I think I'm causing more shadow than, goodness, that was kind of messy. All right. There it is. I'm going to put that there. And we even have room, if we want to put something above it. Remember, I'm really trying to use up all this cool stuff. So I have those other bits and pieces that I could cut down and make some pockets out of too. Actually, that may be from, I don't know if that's from that or not. It's been a while since I looked at this when it was, all in its entirety and everything in one place. Okay, I like that. So we're thinking that this could go in there, making sure it's not sticking anywhere it shouldn't. So there's that. I am gonna ink this guy up just a little bit, but I'm not gonna, I was thinking it was a tag, which technically it could be. I could poke a hole in it and put a ribbon in it, but I want to do the back. Yeah, I do. It's just a cute little set, and you could just say, okay, I'm going to put this in my duffel bag or my purse or my little vagabond bag. And I think there's a bag in these die cuts. Let's see. What did they think? Oh yeah, there's this little passport. No, I don't want to put it on there. Let's see. Is my adventure? Yeah, it's all battened down now. I think I'm good there. But they've got this cute little passport cut out here. I don't know. Would it look good up there? I don't want to put two chunky things right next to one another. I don't know. I doubt I'm going to use any more of those. Anyway, I was digging in here to show you that they have that almost looks like a fishing basket or something, or a picnic basket, I don't know. And then this is, a suitcase. I was thinking somewhere maybe in the little cuts, the little fussy cuts, there's like another bag or something. And then I wouldn't mind using this London, this cute little thing here. Actually, maybe I should put some of this stuff on here. That's not bad looking. These are already printed on there, so it's just a matter of, I like that one there, but it could use some more color. What else do we have? We have Great Adventure. I mean, I like that, but not for this. Never give up. Well, follow your dreams. They know the way. Oh, that's kind of cute. The world is waiting for you. That's kind of cute. But I still think I like that. I don't know. Maybe I do want the green one. Follow your dreams. They know the way. Yeah. Let's do that one. Let's scoot that guy over there. So we got some green and green. All right. So I think we're going to leave it like a stamp. Just get it on there before I change my mind. Let's see. Let's hold it the way we can hold it so it won't get so sticky. I still will. Okay, here we go. That's pretty good. All right. Yeah. Do I still want the London thing on there? Maybe. Why not? We're trying to use this up. We want to use it up. I know I won't be able to use it all up, but trying to really use a lot of it so that I don't feel so bad about the few little pieces that are going to be left over that will go in some other project another day. This does make me feel better to know that I'm getting this done. Upside down. And that it's not just sitting around over there begging to be used. Come use me. You know, keep going back to this page. Let that sit there for a minute and let all those glues get, let's see. You know, there was these other little guys. Too many words. If I put, you know, that speaks to the girls. No journey is too long without the right company. The language of friendship is not words but meanings. Okay, I don't know. But I kind of like this. I like the idea of this. But where? Should I cover them up a little bit? Doesn't seem like it would look proper there. I don't know why. I guess because I've got this here. Now I question this. Now I question this. I don't know. Maybe not so much that big thing. Maybe, well, that says adventure. That says adventure. I don't want that. You know, maybe it's something like this. Covering up my little mountains. I don't know. I thought I had an idea. How about a bird? This poor little guy accidentally, I knew I'd do it, accidentally tore his feet off. He was just way too dainty, you know. Could sit him on the mountain. I don't know. Okay, screwing around here. Let's see, I do have this on the road. Oh, it's like a little bus. A little bus in London. On the road. On the road. That might be fun to just have something like that there. Okay, I don't know. I just got to think about it some more. But I think I'm good over here. So putting that back over there. This is now dry. These are tucked away. And, you know, would it be weird to go ahead and put that there? It's so big. I don't know. I mean, I could put it out here. I guess I could do that. I'm kind of covering up some of this, but it's not horrible to cover it up. Put it in here. But I am liking the idea of putting this here. And I hate to cover that up because look at how pretty that is. But you know what? Whatever. And I've still got this one over here. Oops. I've still got this little, this one is that, another postcard. And then it's got this little double fold guy here. See, another postcard with a little pocket. I mean, there's plenty of this beautiful floral stuff everywhere. There's that girl. So, yeah. So I've got this, and I'm not sure. Maybe it'll fit inside with the other stuff. Maybe since this only has, this back pocket only has the one postcard thing, maybe that could slide down in there. Lock so. Yeah, that's cute. That was another one of those little tags that I glued it down right here. And it looks kind of like a piece of mail to a degree. That. And then what do I do with, oh yeah, so we'll stick that there. Yeah, I think that can go on that side. I'm just trying to, you know, fill it up. I want to fill it up. Oh, you know what though? I think I was thinking, and I definitely want to put this guy in there too, but I was thinking that this would go in that pocket. So really, this taller guy, I don't know if this shorter guy can go in here. It could. It's not horrible, but do I have too many of those things in there? This could go back here. I don't know, it's kind of a tight squeeze. Let me get this one back out. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze back here for something this wide. Now, I could, oh yeah, let's do that. Could do that there and that there. Yeah, I like that. You know, so it looks like, I mean, if it could stand up, you know, it's like I'm a stationery set, but it's a traveling stationery set. So the whole point is you can just tuck everything together. So realizing that I want to put this in here, it's really thick. I don't want it to pop this apart. I don't think it's gonna. I used a really good glue on that. So I don't want to put too much inside here to make it that much thicker. But I really want to use that back there, so I'm going to do that. And who knows, maybe this is going to be sort of a separate piece, or it's going to fit up there. I don't know. Okay, put that off to the side again. And then I'm going to get my glue. Just, you know, and I could leave it to where this is open and I could tuck something, but I really don't have anything tall unless I made something. I could, you know, make some sort of a bookmark or, but I already have a lot of things like that. Okay, let's just leave it alone. I'm going to glue the whole thing down. Get that going. Get that corner because you know it's going to be sticking up if we don't get the glue on it. All right. I think there probably isn't too much left to do here. Sure those corners have plenty. Okay, here we go. Look, I didn't even take the little, oops. I got it up there, didn't I? I didn't even take my little guy out of there. Make sure this is, yeah, got plenty of room. Plenty of room. And I keep saying I shouldn't make it any thicker, but now I'm thinking I really want to put something right here. Maybe there's a few little things here. Travel guide. Let's see. What's going in there? That. So maybe like a little book. Yeah, kind of blends. We need to find something a little more on our way. Yeah, on our way. How about that? I like that right there. Let's do that. Put a little bitty guy there. And you know what would fit in here is like this. That one would go in there. Yeah. This could go back here. This could go here. Yeah, I like that. Just trying to find somewhere for every little thing. So this part is just the part that could take me hours really to mess with. And that's what's kind of, I guess, therapeutic about doing this. What was on the back of this? Oh, good. Nothing. It's a good thing. It could be a tiny, tiny note card, that just want to jot down something and give to somebody, or make a note about something and tuck it back in. Maybe you had a really yummy glass of wine at a at a London pub, or how about an ale, and you want to remember the name of it, so you write it down. I don't know. Again, fantasizing. So I'm still trying to figure out if I want to try to use, maybe that's what I want to do. Try to use this guy. Oh no. See, I just think it looks weird there. I feel like I want something smaller here. What else do I have? The language. The friendship is not words but meanings. Okay. Well, that actually kind of works right there. Okay, we're going to do it. We're not going to overthink it. We're just going to glue it down. We're going to ink it up and glue it down. Up, down. Up, down. All right. Because if I think about it, I'll set it aside and not do it. And then I'll wish I had. I don't know. That works out about 50% of the time. Okay. Okay. I like it for right up here. That way it's got some dimension. It looks like it's part of this because it's overlapping, but yet it's a topper. It's a topper. So I like that. See, there's like these little shoes. Those are kind of cute. Maybe I'll use those. There's some more florally stuff. Maybe I'll use that on the inside because I really do like that. There is this is like a little box. It's kind of a lot of flowers right there in one spot. There's that book. So maybe that. And I guess, is it this way? No, I think it would be this way. I don't know. It kind of blends in. Let's see if inking it helps to bring it forward. Sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Let's see, maybe it needs to be, yeah, I kind of like it right there. Okay, again, we're not going to overthink it. We're just going to do it. We're going to do it. So this ended up working out, not the way I thought or planned necessarily, but I am still using up this set and happy with the outcome. And from now on, I'll know, don't use the Kroger coupon holder that comes in the mail. I don't want to call it junk mail because that's not really junk mail to me. I mean, I do shop there. As a matter of fact, I'm going there today. And guess what? I'm going to use some of the coupons that were in that, actually, the one that came previous because they're expiring sooner, but I'm going to use some of the coupons from that. Okay, here is where I think we could get a little more on here. Yeah. I know there's words up here, but I'm going to put some way down here. Hope that doesn't clash. Anyway, I won't be seeking out the Kroger coupon flyer thing for projects like this anyway. But I salvaged it, and I am really liking this. So we'll see. And maybe I'll run across somebody who is going to travel, and I'll make them take it with them. Take this on your trip and show me if you use it, or if it's a hindrance, or if it's a help. Those little shoes are cute. I'm going to put them back in there, though, because I'm afraid I'll lose them. I'm not sure where I'm using them yet. Now, do I want to put something here? I don't think I have anything else to tuck. Now, I could, certainly just embellish. I almost feel like I would need to put down another lighter piece of something to use. There's some tickety looking things in here. Another postcard. On our way. That stayed down. That's good. I almost feel like this needs something else stuck in it. I don't really know what I have. What else I could use? These are larger format. I'll stick that back there. So I think I do want to put this down here. And I did sort of cut this one down a little bit already. It was really that wide. But I knew that I wanted to, that I would probably, everything is kind of this wide other than the holder. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I hate to cover that up. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. See if I can hit the card, hit the tag with the glue. And this really isn't that thick of a card. I mean, I would call it just a thicker paper. I don't know what weight it is. It might have said. Of course, now I've taken it all apart. But I could look it up. I could go to the Google and look it up. So, yeah, that's okay there. It's not going to bother it. I'm liking it. Yeah. I think, you know what? What if, go ahead. I could put this back here. I don't know what difference it makes. Yeah. And then put this here. I don't know, I'm just trying to shove all these things, and then this could be here. Just trying to come up with where all I could use this stuff. It's getting chock full. Don't know that this is going to get to be a part of it. Okay, so I've got all this going on here. Travel journal. Let's see. That need to be there? Where'd those shoes go? I went and put them back up. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, there they are. I don't know. That's not bad. They need a little bit of cleanup, and I really don't want to have to try to fussy cut inside that right there, because I'm going to take that bow off. Travel, shoes, it kind of makes sense. There's actually some other things that are like, just get these guys out of the way. So we've got that, and like that for that. I think there's some binoculars. Yeah, there's some binoculars. Oh, that would be fun to cut out too. So, you know what? That's kind of cute, and I'm trying to use this stuff up. Okay, I'm going to do that real quick and not on camera because I don't want you watching me. I'll screw it up. Okay. I'm just going to ink that up just a little bit there and get some of that white out of the center. Wow. That for there. And ink these little guys here. Get those white edges out of there and put a little ink on top so that it doesn't look quite so stark white. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, so I've been leaving my glue to sit out, and it's probably trying to dry up on me. No, it's good. Good, good. Okay. Oh, it's folding on me. I'm gonna do it like this. At an angle. I like things at an angle. When I decorate, I do a lot of angle. I mean, like in my house, you know, like everything doesn't have to be straight on. Okay, now I think the shoes do though, because the binoculars, the binocs, are not straight on. So that makes sense to me to mix it up. Yes, and sometimes my furniture, and no, it's not feng shui. I don't really even know how to do that. I get it, sort of, but I'm not into it. I don't care which direction my house is necessarily facing, my bed, my bathtub. I mean, they are where they are. I guess if you were really going to get into it, you need to build a house and you spec it out based on your feng shui. Okay. Yeah, that looks kind of like that. I like it. And I don't think I necessarily want to put any sort of a ribbon or enclosure, a closer or anything on this, because again, I'm trying to fit it in here somewhere. I mean, it could go down in here, and I think that may be the way it has to be. Yeah. Okay, this is ridiculous, but you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with it. So I know it was a journey, but but it worked out. So now I know not to get all cocky, but I did end up using most of the set. Got my little extra piece here. I've just got a few little fussy cut situations here. Could probably go back and add a few more things, really, to the booklet. Maybe. Maybe. Needs a little. I think that's glue, actually. Anyway, but I'm okay with it. And so, so it's like a little pocket. I wouldn't really call it a folio, but it's got a folio in it and a journal in it and lots of opportunities and places to write, jot down, give little gifts out of it. I do have a bookmark in this folio, got a postcard. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And look at what's left. That's all well, wait, I got a couple of pieces here. That's all. And I could make something out of it if I wanted to. But you know what? I'm going to save those for another project and just put that away. Yeah, I like it. Well, thank you for putting up with this, and I hope you stayed to the end to see how it turned out. So yeah, I'm liking it. I'm going to keep moving on and grabbing my Stamperia stuff and trying to use it up. So I'm sure you'll see another video coming soon about it, and I'll figure out which set I'm going to tackle next. And really, I need to get busy on like holiday stuff, but I'm just not there yet. Mentally, I am not prepared. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.